10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
And welcome, Competition Plus TV viewer. I'm the Monday Morning Racer. This is the Competition Plus Power Hour, and I'm not the only one that is yakking it up tonight. I've got my co-host, as usual, Slammin' Sam in studio as well. Sam, you flew in. How's it going, man?
Yeah. Got on that private jet, made it just, dude. The interweb gods do not like me right now. Like, I don't know what I did, or if it's just Mac. And like now my seat, do you see this? Now my seat slowly going down during the show. Like, what is this? Like, I get on, trying to be productive. What happens? Computer doesn't want to work. What a day. And now
Technology,
if I can figure out this.
We live by it. We die by it. It entertains us. Yeah. It frustrates us. Technology, man.
It's not even that. It's this thing office chair. Look at this, Lee. I'm just slowly going to just fade down.
Slowly.
Just like fade down.
Pump it up. Pump it up.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, back up again. Here we go. Just hold it up with my legs all show. They'll hurt.
You're going to be flexing those abs all night, holding it up on the desk. Later on, Sam's going to be like, everybody goes, Sam, what's wrong? He's like, my abs are jelly. They're gone.
Exactly. That's how it's going tonight. Man, Lee, just drag racing. Like, we get to talk drag racing on this show every Tuesday, yak it up, talk about it. You talk about it on Thursday nights. I'm bringing back my show. I've been slacking on the Mackin, but I'm bringing my show back in the Groove podcast where we are going to yak it up about drag racing and new sponsorships. We talked about a little bit of it last week. But just so much going on in our sport, man. And it's unbelievable that we get to be a part of this.
Definitely. And I certainly want to talk drag racing, but up in the corner above where you are right now, you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, it says CompetitionPlus.tv, and below that, Weldon High Performance. And many of you watching the show, you've seen the commercial for Weldon High Performance. Sam, not only are they Weldon High Performance, but they also have a brand, Weldon Pumps. Like, did you know this company that is sponsoring all of Competition Plus? And thank you. Guys, you certainly need to buy from them for your drag racing or racing pump because they make airplane pumps, dude. Airplane pumps.
Yo. No. Before you go any further, I ordered one. I've already got one for my 87 when it comes back out. So I'm already ahead of the 8 ball.
There you go. But look, if you make airplane pumps and the rigid standards that are there, like you don't want your airplane pump, your fuel pump on your airplane failing. Like that just don't need to happen. Like it can fail on the drag cart. You're still on the ground. But you're in the air.
What's the worst that can happen? Well, what if you take one down to Valdosta? Home of the flying cars.
Oh, yes. Right. Yes. Yeah. Maybe they need airplane pumps on those drag cars.
Stevie, I think what happened was when Stevie first tried to do that, he was already trying to go for his pilot's license, and they were like, man, look, you just haven't qualified yet. And so he's like, all right, well, I'll just take an airplane for a ride, see how that is. So, yeah.
Right.
Hey, Lee.
Speaking of pumps, thank you for being on.
Yeah. Hey, man. I got to thank you for that sweet picture that you posted on social media today that I robbed from you.
I see you just straight up robbed from me.
Sharing is caring, though.
There's a button for that. That was a click and download or save. That's what that was. And ladies and gentlemen, what he's referring to, I don't have it posted right now. I'll go find it real quick. But we would like to know, where are you going to plan on attending a race this year? The tracks, when it comes to the NHRA Camping World Professional Tour. Where are you going to go? We'd love to know.
I don't know, Lee. I put it out there. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going.
Right.
So why not steal that sweet picture from you and figure it out.
Well, I know for me, I definitely want to kick off the season strong with preseason testing and Pomona, the Winter Nationals, and we'll see what else goes on from there. Definitely everyone knows, they've heard that I'm going to be focusing on what? Funny car chaos.
Chaos. I think we should do that. I think we should do that together.
So here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Sam
there it is.
Just straight up robbed me. It took like an hour and a half to create this. Go find all these logos. That's my own photo in the background from the great fans of New England Dragway, and he just straight up robs it.
Hey, is there a way to put this as like a 3-person so we can still see this picture? Can you put us in here?
Oh, let me see. Maybe
we're trying new things on the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Trying new things on the show. Hey, speaking of that,
it doesn't look like.
Oh, well, let's take the picture off and put us up.
Okay. Yes. Boom.
All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the late night show of drag racing. So if you haven't done already, please partake in the fun and the festivities as I drink some Honor Palmer tonight. But please, if you haven't done already, here's your chance to crack your cold one. It's pretty cold, Lee. I had it sitting in my pickup, and it's like -13 outside. So it's pretty chilly.
Hey,
and I got some Dasani water. And, of course, because I'm trying to stay healthy, I'm going to be drinking a little Body Armor. Body Armor needs to sponsor us, Lee.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's great. Have you tried it?
It's been a while. I have had it before. It is good.
It's my new favorite thing. I don't even drink Gatorade anymore. I drink that all the time.
Cool. You know what's also going to be good? Tonight's show. Who do we have on
tonight's show? I don't know, but you got a great guy with that face. Are we ever going to see the pit insider, Mr. Jeff Arend again, the jeweler? I'm kind of missing that. Man.
I talked to him. I texted him yesterday. He actually had some sinus surgery today, but we do plan on having him back next weekend. And he might even clue us in on some Winter National news with a particular funny car team. Maybe.
Okay. And then we're going to have Mr. Terry. We've had him on. Big news coming on again. And then Buddy Hall is coming on. And man, oh man, are we out of silly season yet?
No.
Everyone said, and you even said it. I went back and watched one of our shows because you said it a couple of weeks ago. Well, I think silly season is pretty much over now that we're out of PRI. And I don't think silly season is over yet, Lee.
I do not think silly season is over. No, it's not. I think silly season will continue into the Winter Nationals itself. Honestly, I think we're not done. It might even continue all the way to the Gator Nationals until there is true solidification, if you will, for the 2022 season. I would not be shocked to see it continue to be silly. I would not be shocked, man. Because look, so many drag racing fans, they realize, you go look at the entry list, Austin Prock is on the entry list. What's happening there? Who's going to be the marketing partners there? What is that going to look like? Hey, we'll learn tonight, but Terry, who's the marketing partners there? Buddy, anyone beyond his own company and Vertex Roofing? Yes, a lot to still be announced. A lot is still up in the air. I'm glad we've got a season coming, but I don't think the greatest, wildest, wackiest, silly season we've seen to date in NHRA drag racing is done quite yet.
It's just unbelievable. We've all sat back and kind of just watched what happened and what's played out. And I think really we're still in the middle. We're still stirring the pot. I mean, Alex Laughlin dropped a big shocker, I think, to everyone. He said that he still wants to be in a pro stock, and with all the turmoil and confusion that left with last year with everything that happened, I'm not going to get into details. I think everyone thought, okay, Alex, dude, your pro stock life is done. You may get a ride once or twice, but, for him to come out at the beginning of the season saying, hey, you know what? I think that's a great, I don't want to say a shot, but I think that is a big opportunity for him. And then also for Power Build Tools, Dez and the crew over at Power Build Tools has been, a partner with him from day one. And I think
Yes.
that, that he's got a good thing going there,
Yes.
especially when he does his little funny videos. And then too, Cami Caruso, with what she's got going on. I mean, Power Build Tools is a part of that ride too. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think a lot of people are, wondering, guessing, not understanding, but I don't know, man.
Look,
I'm excited.
On Alex Laughlin, again, I think it's great that we have someone in the sport that is as marketable as he is, and he's licensed to drive just about anything out there in NHRA and beyond. The guy does karting at Daytona. He's done tractor pulling. He is a true motorsportist, as I like to call them. But what a great deal for Alan Perninsky. He was on earlier today on WFO with Joe Costello and Alan Reinhart. You can catch that, guys, on WFO Radio TV on YouTube later. Stay right here. But he was on there, and what a good deal for Alan to get someone in that other car, to get a good driver in that car, a Gator Nationals winner, a U.S. Nationals winner, a multi-time winner, get some data and feedback from Alex, and Alex be able to go and ride. And by the way, Sam, do you realize not just by stepping into Alan Perninsky's Dodge, because it is a Dodge and with a Dodge motor, but Alex, in the past of his history, he might be like the only modern-day Pro Stock driver to have driven in a Ford. He drove Elijah Morton's Mountain Motor Pro Stock car, a Chevrolet with Elite Motorsports, and a Dodge, his own ride and upcoming. He might be the only one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and and we're going to go down this rabbit hole, and it's not really a rabbit hole, but a lot of people are going to still give Alex crap. And how can you, I get it. Yes, mom and dad have money, but he's made his own path and his own career. He's done it his own different way. And so what if mom and dad have money? It doesn't matter if family has money. They can go out and do anything else that they want to do. Perfect example. Paige. She doesn't have to go racing, but she says, you know what? If I'm going to go racing, I'm going to do what I like to do. And she's taking it her own way. So I'm sick of hearing about people be mad because mom and dad didn't have the money for them to go racing. Yeah, hell yeah. Would I like to be in a car and go racing every day? Yeah, but why not be different? And why not do things different, like the things that we need in motorsport? And that's something that we're going to talk about here tonight. But we're going to talk about doing things different. And I think one group right now is really standing out, doing a lot different with motorsports and doing things that we need to see and giving notification and, the spotlight on people that we don't really do in motorsports. You know what I'm talking about, Lee?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And hey, anything that continues to bring more and more highlights to the great men and women of the motorsport of drag racing, we need to do it. And as Westbuck likes to say, you can't complain about the music if you're not tooting your own horn. Well, Westbuck and Drag Illustrated, they are willing to do some horn tooting on the great sport of drag racing.
Lee, are you getting this vibe right now that are you getting goosebumps? Because I feel like I'm getting goosebumps right now.
I'm excited over what Drag Illustrated has decided to do in creating the Drag Illustrated, drag racing awards. That's pretty cool. And why don't we just hear from Mr. Drag Illustrated himself on it? Wes.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Just tooting our own horn because, that's what you tell us to do.
I'll give you another one, right? This one my dad told me. If you don't toot your own horn, someone else might use it as a spittoon. And I think it's true, right? You know what I mean?
Cheers to that one.
Cheers to that one. I think it's tough to do that stuff. And I think, honestly, I appreciate what you guys are saying, because it is something that we've been preaching for over a decade, right? That I want racers to be more vocal and to be more outspoken and to put themselves out there more. But the problem is that it kind of conflicts with the DNA of the racing culture. And that's all humble, hardworking, blue collar, salt of the earth people. So it's really uncomfortable, I think, is the best way to put it, for most of the racing masses to do that, right? To talk about themselves, to be, because it smacks of being braggadocious, right? And nobody wants to be that guy. But at the same time, it's people get, I've said this many times, but it's true. People get it confused, get it a little twisted what it means to be humble. Humble is not thinking less of oneself. It's thinking of oneself less. Being humble is stopping in the pouring rain to help an old woman change a tire, opening a door for a young lady. Yes, ma'am. No, that type of behavior, is being humble and exercising humility. And I think people a lot of times think that, man, if I say anything positive about myself, if I tell someone that I won a world championship or whatever, they feel like they're bragging, right? Or they're arrogant. And there's so many people accomplishing so much in our sport, not only now, but for years and years and years and years and years. And I just wish they would be a little louder and prouder about what they've accomplished. But anyways, that was a long ways to say thanks for the warm welcome.
So I gotta ask, what was the final straw for you guys to say, you know what, we are doing this? Like, this needs to happen. Gotta say GQ all the time.
Yeah, right.
That's one thing about. But what was the final straw for you guys to say, you know what, we need this to happen. We're gonna do this, and we are going to promote the racers of the year, the influencer of drag racing for the year, the up and coming star. What was it for you guys that was you know what, we have to do this at this point?
For our group, to be honest with you guys, I think it was just, I don't know how to say it other than this is the stuff that I think about day in and day out. All day, every day, I'm thinking about the sport of drag racing. And this is a group of people that I know and that I love and that I want to see celebrated. And I want to do everything we possibly can to, I think at the root of it, validate their efforts. I truly believe that is something that is so important to racers, is to feel validated. We all know that we're going to spend a bunch of money. It's very, very unusual and rare to make money drag racing, right? So what can we do at all times, anytime, to validate the efforts of racers, to make these men and women feel like it was worth it? Someone's paying attention, someone's watching, someone appreciates what we're doing out here. And honestly, we at Drag Illustrated, we fancy ourselves storytellers, but we also fancy ourselves memory makers and experience makers. And whether it's with the World Doorslammer Nationals, thanks for rocking the shirt tonight, Monday Morning Racer, Lee, I appreciate it. But it's whether it's with races or the 30 under 30, the Drag Illustrated 30 under 30, that deal has taken on a life of its own, and we're so proud of it. But we're creating an experience, we're creating a memory for these people, and that's something that is just a lot of fun. I don't really know how else to put it. It's a ton of fun, and I think, to be honest, this is something that's been on our radar for a long time. We were just waiting for the timing. We needed the timing to line up. We're still, we've had tremendous growth in 2021. We have things are looking really good for 2022, but we weren't quite ready manpower wise. Okay, do we have the faculties to do this? We have a lot of balls in the air right now. Can we do this and live up to it and make it be what we want it to be? And it finally got to a point that we did. But I think as a funny thing, one of the real driving forces behind this whole deal, Sam, was walking out of that 30 under 30 press conference at PRI every December for the last 5, 6, 7 years, however long it's been, and having people rib me, say, when are you going to do a 40 over 40? When are you going to do a 50 over 50? When are you going to do a 60 over 60?
No.
Right? I think you were one of those guys.
Lee and I both said it on the next show, hey, dude, we didn't get in, so guess we're going to, hold on.
I didn't get in.
I'm holding on to my prop money to turn it in when I get my jacket. So
well, because of course, all you have to do is pay us some money and you'll get an award or something, I guess, is what people are saying.
That's what I heard.
Right.
That's what was on the interweb.
My wife,
that was on the interweb.
My wife was like, "Hey, where are they mailing these checks? Because I don't think we're not getting them. Like, we needed to check into this because I don't understand." But anyways, no, I mean, that really was what it was. Is that whole situation of going that the 30 under 30 took off, and it's pretty narrow path there. And there's a lot of people in our sport that are well beyond 30, 40, 50, whatever. And I thought this could be the perfect opportunity to highlight these folks, again, validate their efforts, celebrate their accomplishments, talk about the year, and create headlines at a time of the year where there's not a ton of other events going on. Obviously, we got the U.S. Street Nationals. Bradenton coming up this weekend is going to be a barn burner without question. We're a couple of weeks away from the Winter Nationals. There's plenty of racing to talk about. Brittany Force, Monster Energy Flavor Pack announced. I mean, there's tons of stuff to talk about. Don't get me wrong. But it felt like now was a good time. We couldn't wait much longer, right? You couldn't really wait until the season was underway. We had to get it out of the way. Honestly, I would like to have pushed it back a week. I may yet, but I probably won't. But anyways, because I like this buildup, I used to always tell stories about, there's a reason there's 2 weeks between the end of the playoffs and the Super Bowl, right? The NFL, ESPN, Fox, they need time to tell that story. They need time to flesh that match up. They need a matchup out. They need time to kind of develop all these different storylines and do the research. And as big of a deal as this has become so quickly and everybody being so excited about it, both good and bad, I almost feel like we need more time. We need to drag it out, because it's literally all day, every day is I'm talking about these freaking awards. And I knew that this would be a big deal. I truly believed in my heart. I said, guys, if we put the time, energy, effort, attention to detail that we do on everything else to this, these will be, in a very short amount of time, the highest honors that exist in the sport of drag racing. And that's my vision. My vision for this is a Racer of the Year award, a Breakout Racer of the Year award. I look at those as being, I want them to reach a point where that's equivalent to an NHRA championship. That's equivalent to an NHRA Rookie of the Year honor. Right? That's what I want to accomplish with this. And I will tell you, we've had a meeting about this so people know how seriously we're taking it. We've met about this every single day since we have announced it. And we worked on it a lot before then, but we've literally had a meeting every single business day, debating things, discussing things, fleshing things out. And not everybody's going to love who wins this stuff. Right. But that's why it matters. That's why it's cool. That's why it's different. That's why it's ours. And I've told people like, hey man, come on in. The water's warm. Throw your own award ceremony. Like, I'm not stopping you. Right. I mean, we're not going to nail it on every one, but they come from the best possible place. We've labored over these things. We've debated them. I've changed my mind. The guys have changed their minds. We put together a really good group that I feel is serving as our selection committee. And I think we're going to make some waves next Thursday night, man. I really, really do. I think we're going to make some waves. And I thank you guys for taking a minute to acknowledge this situation, because we're doing this for racers. I mean, Alex Laughlin, for instance, don't think for a second that it's not going to be on a sponsorship proposal yesterday that he's nominated for Influencer of the Year. You know what I mean? We recognize there's value from this type of thing. And we just want to take it to the moon. That's really what it is. We want to take it to the moon.
I'm just waiting for the announcement of like host and co-host of the year for the show. Ebony and Ivory Ebony and Ivory of drag racing. Shall I continue?
Classes. Yeah. Now
shall I continue down the list?
It's funny. The first list I
have 25.
A list. You have a list of nicknames?
Of things that all describe Lee and I.
Won. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Put myself in that category.
I'll add you to the trophy list. Make sure Sam gets something.
No.
Wes, maybe if you had a Razzie-like segment on this, maybe we would be
that's
up
hilarious.
For that. Yeah, that'd be where we're at. So
I got my participation.
Thursday, I mentioned it. What time? When you're streaming, and are people going to be asking, what was the designer for the dress type of thing too?
Yeah, absolutely. We will get there. I see this as becoming a standalone live event at some point within the next few years. My initial goal here is to do it safely. There's people throughout our racing community that are being like devastated, ravaged. We've lost people by COVID. I understand that people are still very apprehensive about getting together in a small room or anything like that. So I kind of immediately just tabled any notion of like having a live event here immediately. So for now, you can log on to the Drag Illustrated YouTube page, youtube.com/Drag Illustrated. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Drag Illustrated. Of course, log on to dragillustrated.com. There's all sorts of links on there you can click. But we will be streaming live at 6:30 p.m. February 3rd. That's next Thursday night. From downtown Fort Worth, Texas. We're very excited about it. We've got a few special guests that are going to be involved with the event. I believe if the stars and moon align, we're going to have a couple celebrity appearances. It's going to be as cool as we can make it via the World Wide Web on relatively short notice. But I remind people, give us time. We're just getting started. I promise you, this is a seed we planted a few months ago, so there's no telling where it goes.
What time again?
6:30 p.m. next Thursday night, February 3rd. And I believe that's the date. And it's going to be an absolute barn burner, man. We're planning right now a 2-hour program. We'll have like 30 minutes kind of to open the thing up and get things started or whatever, let people compile. But it'll be a pretty concise show. A lot of the people that have been nominated will be involved in the show. A lot of the winners are going to be involved in the show. It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Also,
well, Wes, we look forward to it. Yeah, we look forward to it. We know you guys are going to talk about it on your show tomorrow. Send us the link.
Do you guys have anything going on next Thursday night?
As right now,
I have my Thursday night show, but what you proposing? I could always change something up.
I would like for you guys to present an award.
We can do that.
That means I'm gonna have to shave.
I'm proud of the brand that you guys have created, respectively, both of you. So I don't think it'd be fair to just have you guys come on and present as one. I'd really like for you to come on and present independently. So Lee, love to have you come on and present an award. Let's get that ironed out tomorrow. Sam, it'd be a privilege for you to come on and give out an award as well. And I'll let you guys. We'll debate who's doing what tomorrow, but I'd love for you guys to do it. I apologize that we're kind of on top of your show. I genuinely apologize. I didn't even think about it when we were planning this date 3 months ago.
No worries.
But we'd love to have you guys if you're willing. Right here, offer extended. Do we got you? I'll put out.
I'm in.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in.
We'll announce this. So thank you guys seriously for all your support now and for all these years. We appreciate it a lot, man. And we got to glad to have a little bit of the power hour on the DI Awards next week.
Appreciate it, man. And before we do let you go, let me say,
yeah, you're good. I'm
so saddened on the World Doorslammer Nationals.
Yeah. You and me both, man. It's just so you know, don't sleep on us. We really feel we're not done putting on races. I feel it's something that we're very good at. I think that we're amongst the best at putting on races. But whenever we really I want to be complimentary to the other events and the other sanctions and the other series. I care too much about the sport of drag racing to go out here and compete with the NHRA or go head to head with anybody. And when I looked at the schedule and when I started to talk to our racers, the notion of asking NHRA Pro Stock teams to race what would basically be 4 weekends in a row cross country, with the NHRA tightening up their schedule there, we just don't really have an option, unfortunately. I mean, don't write us off. That's too strong of a brand and too strong of an event to just go away entirely. But I'd really like to let things settle down with COVID and the NHRA schedule. Let the NHRA Pro Mod class kind of settle out. And to be honest, I'd say the next event you see Drag Illustrated put on, look for a big money outlaw 8th mile Pro Mod race. You heard it here first. We broke a little bit of news.
The professional modified,
sure.
Baby.
Yeah, if the next race modified. We do will be outlaw 8th mile Pro Mod drag racing.
All right.
So,
Wes, keep up the good work.
You guys do the same. Appreciate you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Man, professional modified getting the love that they need. That is what it's about. I know you hate me saying that, Lee.
Again, hand it to Wes and the whole team there at Drag Illustrated. They keep raising the bar on the expectations of drag racing and what can be done. And there certainly should be awards across the board and everybody be lifted, because we have something in drag racing that is so beautiful, yet makes it so challenging to cover. There's so much of it. And there's so many different variables to drag racing. Like, funny car chaos, for example, with what Chris Graves is doing. Well, when you say funny car, what do you mean? It used to mean one thing, but now there's top alcohol funny car. There's nitro funny cars. Is it a big show car? Is it a car to go run historical or nostalgia meets? I mean, what are we talking about? It's all over the board. But Wes and the folks at Drag Illustrated are given a place where wherever you're at in the drag racing world, you can be acknowledged. That's a good thing.
No, and that's what it's about. And it's about, not forgetting where we came from, not forgetting the stories that have been told and created and molded into us of drag races, but it actually, it's staying with the times. I don't want to use this analogy of church, but you have to move with the times. You have to be able to reach every generation. You have to be able to figure out what is it or what can we do to keep you connected and keep you involved. And I really do believe that is something that we have, with the virtual racing, with what we're doing here at Competition Plus.
Right.
But then I just always think that there's just that other curveball that's right around the corner. It's like, okay, what's going to happen next in the sport of drag racing? And to have our own now award show, everyone tunes into the ESPYs, right? You tune into the All-Star game for baseball and basketball. You see all these other award shows. So now we have our own, and thanks to Drag Illustrated and Wes Buck, who is the founder of this. I mean, it's creative, and I mean, I think if we even ask our next guest before we, when we bring him on, is if you would have thought about this 10, 15 years ago, do you think we would have evolved to where we're at today? So I'm excited about it.
For, I don't know if Wes and them have this category. I can't remember, but the most persevering drag racer for 2022, it might very well be our next guest, Terry McMillen. We'll have him on in just a few moments right after we take a break. Hey, you mentioned what Competition Plus does in the Virtual Racing Hot Rod Association. Congratulations, Lyle Barnett. He sewed up the championship there in Pro Mod already. Congratulations, man.
Dude, that man's been a social media guru. He texted me one day and said, man, can you ask Bobby if we can have a week off? Because my social media has been nothing but go vote for me. But his fans, his loyalty and his brand that he's created has shown. People love him, people respect him, and that's exactly why Lyle Barnett is the people's champ, as I call him.
That's right. Folks, this word from Weldon Pumps, and the man, Terry McMillen, is on next. Terry, you're back.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good, man. Good. Hey, look, everybody's a fan, but these two guys, we are definitely fans of the news that broke for you. First and foremost, congratulations, man.
Well, thank you so much. I tell you, it's been a long dry spell of being at the track and certainly visiting all the fans and just hanging out with all the racers and doing what we all do. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to Dan for taking the opportunity to look at what we're doing and putting a program together that'll work and get us out there for a few races. And we're excited about it, man. I can't wait to get started.
Boom.
Next.
It's refreshing. Like the last time we had you on the show, the last time we were talking, the biggest question is when, what if that chance, and you're like, man, I'm working on it. We're reaching out, we're trying, we're not giving up hope yet. And it just shows like it paid off, like not giving up paid off, not taking a break and saying, okay, hey, how do we recharge? Right. Just like we were just talking about, how do we adapt and move forward. And here we are with this announcement.
Well, and I always use the motto that persistence outweighs resistance. You're going to go out there, you can be persistent about what you're doing. You're eventually going to win. And it was just a tough deal. I mean, this COVID has not been good to anybody. Amalie Motor Oil, 20 years we've been with them, working with them, and it's been an amazing relationship. And for them to make the decision that they had to make to park the team at that time and just kind of regroup, as everything in the entire country or world is so unstable right now. You can't get this product or that product. And then looking at it from a sponsor standpoint, it's really difficult for companies to invest in a team right now when they can't even take care of their existing customer base. So that has made it equally difficult to go out and work with marketing partners. But, I believe that just the perseverance of going out there and not giving up, it's the attitude that I've had all my life. And hopefully I instill that in my children, which I'm sure I did because it's been working for them. But ultimately, it's just it's really important to have the opportunity to get back out there and show what we can do, and certainly work on building a larger program. Maybe next year we'll come back and run half a season or maybe the full season, but we got to get out there. If we're out there, we can make some waves. And I think that's what it's all about. We have a tremendous fan base following. It's just amazing. I was telling somebody the other day, Corey Pett posted a post on Twitter, on TikTok, and within 10 minutes it had 6,800 views already. And it was just a little short message about coming back out. And so it's just, we're seeing millions of views on these, and it's been just amazing. And so I'm excited. I can't wait, man. I wish we were racing tomorrow. And this was the night before, but we got a few things to get there.
Yes, when I put the press release out on the Monday Morning Racer Facebook page and Twitter, it definitely took off. Everybody was wanting you back, and it's definitely good that we're going to have you back. Talk to us, as you mentioned in the Susan Wade article, I believe it was, or at least it was on Competition Plus. Anyway, that the fans were a big part of kind of keeping you going on and allowed you to get through what you were going through.
Oh, absolutely. It goes back to it. I'll go back to Charlotte a few years back. We blew the engine up and just destroyed everything we had on the car. And it was like the third one in a row. It was just devastating. And I got out of the car and I just started walking back to the pits. I didn't want to ride. I just wanted time away to think. And, but when I got back to the pitch, the fans, they were there, and they talked me into coming back, and they talked me into staying and doing what we do. And I'm very thankful for that. And it's just like the same thing that we're running into today. I know that, fans have been writing Amalie and Ross Pistons and all the companies that we've worked with in the past. And they're all excited about, having us back out there and having the opportunity to go out there and race. And without them, the sport would be nothing, because obviously, your fan base is huge, but it also results in sales at the end of the day of your particular product. And so I'm just extremely excited and thankful for all the fans, because it just makes you realize how blessed you are to have the support that you have, not just with the fans, but other racers and the marketing partners, because all my marketing partners have been great. Amalie Oil, I've never been treated like a sponsor driver. I was kind of like treated as an employee almost. And it's such a warming feeling, because it's such a different venue. And so I'm excited about just getting back out there, hitting the gas and saying hello to the fans again, because that's what we do. And that's what makes this sport awesome.
So talk to us about, when you had the press release come out, it said limited schedule, 6 to 8 races. What details can you give us? Are you releasing anything yet, or is it all still kind of working out?
It's still working out, but I will tell you that we're going to run Indy, we're going to run Charlotte, and probably Reading and Epping. I think that's kind of where we're at right now, but we have some more to add to that. We are trying to find a balance with some marketing partners, because if we're in a particular area that they need us to be there, we want to try to look at that and see if that makes more sense to go there to help support their company and their needs or employees. And so So we're taking a look at everything. Right now, we're just the whole racing operations up here at Elkhart at the shop. And then next week, I have the folks from Quebec. 3 or 4 of the crew guys are coming up to hang out for the week and look over things and talk about different things, get this program kicked off. So we got a lot of work to do, a very short period of time, just like everybody else. It's hard to get valve springs. It's hard to get different components right now. And so we're having to battle that just like everybody else is in day-to-day business. So, but we're persistent. We'll find what we need and we will be out there sooner than later.
So Kroger Sucks 45, a regular viewer of the show, interesting YouTube handle for sure, does want to know who's going to be the tuner on the car. Any information on that you can reveal, if at all?
Yeah, I really don't have any information on that. We're kind of looking at different options and figuring out what's out there, because a lot of the crew chiefs are looking for full-time, opportunities. And so we don't have that to give them right now. So we're just kind of taking it day by day and talking to people and seeing where we end up. But right now it's still up in the air. It'll be a good one.
I'm sure it will be. Who wouldn't want to work with Terry McMillen and the fun group you've got over there? And definitely, I look forward to seeing whatever rolls out as far as marketing partners and wraps and schemes and things of that nature. Talk to us about Dan. And is it Mercier? Is that how you say his last name? Yep. All right. Talk to us about him for those who may not know who he is in the world of drag racing.
He's been involved in drag racing forever. I mean, this guy's driven everything, top fuel boats. He has a fuel car that he runs consistently within NHRA. He has a nostalgia funny car. He's also has a top fuel car. Is how we actually met a few years back. My team, we built a car for him and sold it to him. And then we helped him tune the car at different venues that he went to. And he's a natural behind the seat. He understands, what it takes to win. And I think he finished 4th, maybe 5th in points in fuel this year or last year. And, he's a very accomplished driver. And he's got a great foundation, a great team behind him. And, that's kind of what's been really, really important. I mean, it's for me, I love the race. Don't get me wrong, but family has to come first. And that is how Dan and I met basically and continue to have this working relationship. It's all about having your family with you, your crew. We're all just one big bunch. We eat together. We do everything that we can together. And then we want to, the few minutes that we go up to the starting line at, 3 seconds is, for the race itself. But the atmosphere surrounding that, it's just like, everybody's welcome in our pit, love putting people in the car, getting their pictures taken, the things that you're never going to get at a NASCAR race or an IndyCar race. And those people take that home. I mean, I have kids that I started out with at 4 or 5 years old, and their parents were older. Today, those same young adults today are writing us and saying, hey, thank you. And I want to bring my son there and my daughter. And, if we can get in the car and get a picture taken, it would be great. So it's just amazing the amount of following that you gain by just, doing the simple things. I'm not a big fan of having my pits roped off. I mean, you have to at sometimes because it's just people just kind of get too edgy or too close to the car. But I like to leave it open. I like people to be able to come in and look at things. And my job at the end of the day is to make anybody that's at the track that comes to my pit have a smile on their face when they walk away. And then with that, they'll remember all the marketing partners, and it just goes hand in hand. And that's what's led to our success. And we're going to continue to drive that direction. And with Dan's support and his team's support, I'm looking to go out there and give him his first top fuel Wally this year. And I believe that we have the parts and the capability of doing that. Had the same car that we built before we ended the season, and that car was just amazing. 60 foot like no other car that we have ever had, which allowed us to run the engine easier, but yet the car went into the 60s. And so we're just all fired up and waiting to go. And it's like I said, it can't get here quick enough, but I'll tell you what, when it does, it's going to be amazing.
And that's what it's all about, right? After a top 10 finish in 2020, taking a few years off, coming back. And like you said, having your pits open. I mean, I think that's what, most people remember about you. And you said it, like, kids coming in and now they're adults bringing their kids back to experience the same thing they did with having those. And we understand that COVID restrictions do, limit some of those things. But at the end of it, you have your own style. And I think that's why people, like you said, and like Lee said, as soon as the news was released, everybody was super excited about it, because it's like, wow, he is coming back. Like, here's my opportunity. That guy that was like, well, I'm not going to go to the racetrack because Terry's not there anymore and I can't experience that same thing with my kid. Here's their opportunity to get that third generation picture, next to your car or something. So that's going to be really cool.
Oh, it is. It's going to be amazing. And like I said, I can't wait to get started, and certainly having Dan, as part of the team now and making this all transition into, a major program down the road is going to be great. And, it's just, it's funny how this all works out. It's just a little short story. When Dan started racing his Top Fuel car, I was also, in his ear, like, hey, maybe you ought to look at becoming an oil distributor. And today he's done an amazing job in less than a year, while COVID restrictions were on, of selling a ton of Amley oil. And so, it just goes to show that he's so focused, and when he sets his mind on doing something, he's going to be really, really good at it. And that's why I think it's just going to be a great opportunity for both of us, and to go out there and have a lot of fun. And you know what? We're going to be a spoiler. We're going to get some final rounds. We're going to go out there and do the absolute best that we can, just like we always have. And however the chips fall from there, we'll take it.
So I know you were busy during the whole time, whether it was searching for marketing partners or with your son and the junior dragster program you've got with him. But you had some time to think, I'm sure, and look at the sport from a different perspective, being out of the car for a year. What did you learn? What did you muse over? What might have you figured out for the sport as a whole, and for you even personally, with in the car and out of the car?
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, I have 3 acres of land, and there's only so much grass you can mow, and there's only so many flowers you can plant. Straight up, okay? That's just it. While I was blessed and fortunate that, Cameron had the opportunity to run the Amley Junior Dragster. He won his first event. I think he won like $500, which is awesome. But it was those moments became very cherishable to me, because it's something that, you only have that opportunity. And while I'm only running a limited schedule, it's still going to allow me the opportunity to go racing with Cam, which is really, really important, because that's his focus now. And he has that direction. That's what I want to do. I want to race, and he's becoming, fairly good at it. And so I think that long term, that's what I really liked. As long as I was busy, I wasn't thinking so much necessarily of being at the NHRA tracks, because I was busy with him and racing and learning how to be a crew chief on a one cylinder motor, which I just have to tell you was the hardest thing in the world, because those things just don't work well. But long story short, I enjoyed it. Looking at our sport overall, we just we have a great sport, and the platform that NHRA has given us to work within has allowed us the opportunity to do a lot of different things. I think this year being the year that there's more independent race teams out there than, because Schumacher's kind of a little bit, while he still has Tony and that. While we need big teams out there, now you have a whole lot more single car teams. And I think that if there's ever a year that NHRA goes out there and promotes and makes stars of each individual out there, this is the year to do it, because the platform is perfect. Like you're still going to have the John Forces and the Torrances and the Colettas, which is huge, because the sport still needs those group of people. But there's just a ton more independent racers, which is going to make some really good and exciting racing. And I'm sure there's going to be controversy, and there's just going to be all the things that's going to pull and make people focus on what we're all doing at the NHRA.
Lee, you got anything? You're really quiet up there.
You were quiet first.
Well, here. Wait a minute. What I do with them, man? I'm ready now. We can do it.
Boom. Boom. Someone that gets it. Hey, this guy has had good shade game for a long time. He really has. He's had some great shades.
I'm going to be back out there with him. I can promise you.
Very cool. Very cool. So
been doing good, right? It's awesome that you're going to present awards with Wes. That's a pretty huge deal.
It is. That's really a great honor. We just learned it tonight. That's cool. And
spur of the moment.
What do you think about, Drag Illustrated stepping up and doing something like that? I mean, the sport's never really had anything like that, I don't think.
No, and it definitely needs that. I mean, the one thing with Buck and his group is they always think outside the box. It's just and that's what our sport needs. We need that opportunity for everybody to be recognized one way or the other. And the program that they put together is fabulous, and I can't wait to watch it on next Tuesday, I think, isn't it, or Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see it because it's going to be awesome, and I think it's definitely going to set the tone for the future going forward within our sport.
So, talking about setting the tone, future of the sport, recently here in Top Fuel, we have seen many more alliances formed, whether it's Torrance and Toyota and Justin Ashley and Davis Motorsports with Antron Brown Motorsports. And though we've seen like the mega team be broken up, we're seeing alliances on the rise. Do you think that's a positive for the sport, or do you think it could even turn down a negative track and we have pseudo mega teams out there eventually one day?
I see it as a positive. I mean, you look at the John Forces, the Schumachers, the Torrances. It's amazing how many people they help, and not just with maybe parts or whatever, but tuning advice or, hey, look, we're having this problem. What do you think we should do? They've been down those roads, and the Bobby Laganas of the world. They're the first guys to jump in and help get you back on track, or get you off of where you're heading anyway. And I think that we have to have those alliances out there. You have to have those super teams like that that have all the knowledge in the world and been through those situations to reduce the amount of damage that we can do and keep cars coming back out there and racing. Because if you keep blowing everything you have, I don't care how much money you have coming in, you're not going to have enough. And so the alliances are huge. I think that, the crew chiefs are really stepped up in helping other crew chiefs. And I think from that standpoint, it's only going to better our sport. And, it's just, this is what it takes right now. If there was a time that we all need to work together, it is now, coming off of COVID and trying to get our sport back up, into, the ratings up and everything happening that we all need. This is the way to do it. And I think when we have side-by-side racing, all the way to the finish line, that's going to be, what people want to see. I mean, back in the day when pro stock, was 100,000ths of a second all the time at the finish line. Well, you look at it today, a lot of races in Top Fuel and Funny Car are much the same. Never been so close. It's only going to get closer because the alliances that have been established within the group of NHRA racers.
Yeah, last year, if you were just a fan, I think it was a great year. The competition in Top Fuel was great. And then, Funny Car probably had the most competitive year I think it's ever had. It was absolutely insane.
Absolutely agreed. And like I said, it's, going back to what you said earlier, it's all about the alliances because people are helping people. We don't have to like each other for 3.6 seconds. But, anything that we could all do to help you at the end of the track, whether you need a motor or whatever, you need a part or you need advice, it just seems like everybody's rallied around to make that happen. And I think, for certain it's made our sport better.
And even then, like Lee, you said only in Funny Car had one of the most competitive, but I think watching Pro Stock too was very entertaining. You didn't know who was going to win. You didn't know who was going to step up. So I think like when I take a step back and look at the year in the full year, like I think we had the most competitive racing other than the occasional Steve Torrance win in Top Fuel. I think we had a pretty competitive win, like competitive season across the board for each class. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, having rookies come out and beat, the champ multiple times. I mean, who would have expected that in each category? So no, I think racing is becoming very fun to watch, more entertaining to watch. We have new stars coming in. We have old stars coming back, and I don't want to say old, but returning.
Compliment, man. Way to hook your brother up, all right?
Yeah, like after that came back. Yeah, after that came back out, I'm like, man, that just doesn't sound right. But
say that just now, did he?
We have returning vets coming to, hell down the rings of, hey, I'm not done yet. So no, I'm excited. Like, if anyone has said last year and this year, oh, drag racing is dead, drag racing's done, it's mopped up, man, go eat broccoli. Like, and I'm really starting to like broccoli, but go eat broccoli. It's got to be mushy though, like. But
I can't even.
Yeah, man.
All that stuff. I mean, I want to go out in the backyard and bury it in the dirt. That's awful.
Well, Terry,
anyway,
look, one last.
But I agree with you. The drag racing is definitely seeing a surge and an upswing, and we definitely need that to continue on. And I think that's only going to be beneficial to every marketing partner, to every racing out there, and certainly the fans, because you look at it. I mean, I don't care where you go, what venue you go in, whether it's monster trucks or IndyCar racing, it's expensive to get into the pits and watch the race and all that. So you want to put on the best show that you possibly can. And I think that's why I've always felt that drag racing was the best thing, because not only is it great for people with ADD, because you're always changing cars every minute and a half. Like myself, it's still a sport that is open. The locker room's open. The fans get to visit. Everybody gets to talk. But more importantly, the racing is more side by side than it's been in the last 3 years. Last year was great. I think this year's even going to be better. And I think we've got a tremendous upswing going right now. We need to ride that storm all the way to the top.
Terry, one last question for you. Viewer is asking, have you ever driven a fuel funny car? And I think you've got some funny car experience somewhere in your day.
Yeah, I started in an alcohol. I started in a nitro funny car, and I ran some NHRA with it. And back in the day, Al Hoffman was helping me, and it was just, it was a learning experience. And then we kind of hung out with that. And then NHRA dropped the rules in nitro funny car, and so then they made it an alcohol class. So then I started running alcohol. And then eventually, 2 years, we ran the fuel car and the funny car at those races while we were testing the waters to see if we could even compete on the NHRA side. Because, NHRA, I loved it. It was grassroots. It's just beautiful. But then, you go to an NHRA race as a driver and owner, and you look at it, it's so intimidating. You look at the whole 500, 2,000 foot of Schumacher trailers and John Force trailers, and it's like, man, I can't even play in this game. I don't even have one truck like that, But we tested the waters to see what we could do. We did it, and we had some great times. I think we went to 5 races. We qualified at all 5 races, and that's when we sat down with the folks family and said, hey, what can we do? NHRA is making some changes, and so we entered the top fuel ranks, and man, I'm thankful and blessed that we did, because it's been a great ride. Like I said, building this top fuel program, and now it's the reins are handed over to Dan, and he's going to build it, and we're gonna go out there and just have a lot of fun, and we're going to get him a Wally.
Well, Terry, look, thank you for your time. Great news from you. We look forward to seeing you at the track. We look forward to seeing you right back here on the Power Hour once again. And I don't know, news of that you won or something like that. That'd be great, man.
Well, we'll have some information coming out here soon. There's some announcements that we want to be able to make. We just got to get some things finalized, and then once we do that, we'll start posting some more stuff, and then we'll have the schedule out and things like that, and then we'll be all geared up and ready to go.
All right. Thank you, Terry.
That's
Thank
what
you,
it's all
guys.
about.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yep. And like I said, it's just great to have that energy back in the pits, right?
Yes.
That open door, that continued. Just, I mean, think about that, Lee. Like I really think about that. Think about if you were that kid whose dad brought you to the racetrack for your first time, and you got the chance to sit in that car, right? And now, 20 years later, let's just say 20 years later, you get that chance to put your kid, or 10 years, or whatever it may be, you get the chance to put your son or your daughter in that car and take that picture. Like, most people can't say they have something like that. And, you know, and just, I don't know. Gives me goosebumps.
Well, I'm definitely glad we're going to have Terry McMillen back. And look, Terry would obviously admit he's not John Force, but I hope that the NHRA through this was paying attention, because you had the spotlight, at least for a moment, taken away on everybody, every other big name in the sport, that, oh, this guy's coming back. And you see how popular this individual is. So that means there's popularity throughout the ranks of NHRA drag racing, and it's not just with a few individuals. There are a lot of likable people in the sport of NHRA drag racing, such as Terry. And I think our very next guest is one of those individuals, and certainly can be, and that's Buddy Hole. Sam, who's Buddy Hole?
Who is he? Tell me about him. I mean, did he do something, like, didn't he just kind of buy a team and just say, hey, man, I'm going to make this happen? Like,
right.
You know what? I've had this money sitting in the bank. Yeah, let's just make it happen.
Right. With Tim Wilkerson to tune it to boot.
Like, when that decision was made and you go and you say, hey, I think I'm going to do this, do you tell your best friend? Because you sure aren't telling your banker. Like, there's no way you're consulting with a financial person when you say, hey, I think I'm going to do this. Because in their books of books, they've got a million reasons to say, hey, see this book here? Yeah, Antron's called, John's called, everybody else called. We've told them no. So do you? Yeah. I want to know, because whoever that person is that you make that phone call with, I need to call them. So we need some answers here.
Right. We need some answers. And he may be the only person that Matt Hagan fears in an arm wrestling competition.
No, see, we're going to get some workout details, because, like, I need to know what diets and stuff he's on, because, you know, I'm trying to stretch the seams of these extra mediums, and they ain't really working too good. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and right after this word from Holly, and in particular, their LED lights, you need to pick them up for your hot rod. After that word, we're going to have, well, the newest Top Fuel owner, second year to come driver in Top Fuel, Buddy Hole.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
Mr. Hole, how's it going? Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
He's muted.
Uh-oh.
He's got a drink.
Oh, there we go.
He's got a drink to that.
Yeah.
You guys don't like just mute me. That's how we get started. I see how it is.
Yeah, there we go.
No,
there we go. There
you got to drink. You got to drink to that. So cheers.
Yeah, it started out that so I would be kind. I would try to turn my mic off and make sure no rustling is being heard, and it turned into coming back and having my mic off. No one can hear me, and that's when we take a drink. It's a drinking game, basically.
There we go. Cheers.
There we go. There we go. Well, man, look, as Sammy Eubanks is saying, cheers, buddy. Look, congratulations, buddy. Huge deal. Huge deal. Another player in the game, in ownership and driving. Have you seen your psychiatrist, though? Because you went off the deep end, man.
Yeah, well, both the psychiatrist, the accountant, all the above is slightly concerned about me, but I'm not concerned about me at all. So, I live my entire life by, you only get one shot at it. You got to achieve everything in the world that you want to achieve, and whatever it takes to do it, as long as it's not illegal or unethical, get out there and do it. So, I enjoy being in control of my life, and I really want to do well at this. And I, coming from my background, being an entrepreneur and a business owner, I know that if I'm in control, it is my responsibility. Whether I do great or whether I do bad, I'm in control. And I am willing to do whatever it takes over the course of time to, in fact, have a winning formula. So we are super excited.
Okay, Lee, with an attitude like that, does it even matter? Like, if the car goes past the burnout, you back up, you let off the throttle, and the motor goes wha-bam. With an attitude like that, it doesn't matter. He's going to go back to the pits and be like, hey, man, it happens. We're going to give it another go. Like, that's the attitude to have. Like, if I could have a little bit of that when I can't sleep all night and got to get up to go to work sometimes, yeah. Be a much better and a happier person some days.
Man, you got to live that way. It's a choice, it's simply a choice. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I try to run my entire life that way. I run my business that way. Vertex Roofing and General Contractors. We are, we're a rather large roofing company in the Texas, and it covers the entire state of Texas. And we run our business the same way we're going to run our top fuel team, which is, once again, whatever it takes, and do it the right way, and put great people in the mix. And for me, that's where Tim Wilkerson came in. I've known Tim, my God, practically my whole life, and I'm sure you guys are going to ask me about Tim in a minute. So, and I can tell some Tim stories. I could probably tell some that you don't want me to tell, so I won't. But anyway.
Yeah, we haven't had Tim on the show, so break down for us the deal with Tim, because Tim saw the car come out around ZMAX last year, and they were doing some testing. Like, I even have video footage of it, and everybody's like, is that Tim's car? Is that Tim? Who's going to be in it? What's up with that? And then it does make a pass or two there at St. Louis, and now you have purchased it, and you've got him tuning for you. So yeah, that changed direction, I would say, rather abruptly in the racing world. So how did it all come about, man?
Sure. Tim put that operation together to be able to, take people out, teach them the right way, provide a ride for people to rent that was a really reliable top fuel car that could go A to B. And things transpired. Him and Chad Green have, obviously, they're basically a team. They have an alliance, as you guys spoke about earlier, with Terry McMillen. But Chad's increasing his schedule, and what that does, it spreads Tim out just a little bit further. And and I knew that had transpired, and I saw the direction I wanted to go. And again, crazy me, I'm always gonna once again do whatever it takes, and I know I need to be in control. And so in one of my wild thoughts going down the road, I said, I've known Tim for 33 years. I talked to him at the racetrack every weekend. I'm going to see if I can buy this thing from him, right? I mean, it was one of those thoughts. How stupid is that, right? And that's exactly what happened. I literally picked up the phone at that very moment, called Tim, and that's when the conversations began. And here we are today. We've been working on it for a while now.
No, and that's what it takes, being comfortable with someone, knowing them, trusting them, and especially in a situation like this. But you go from, your rookie season 14th in points, and that's no slam on you as a rookie season. I think that's phenomenal. But for you, your goal, everyone I know, their goal is to come out and be number one. But for you, I want to ask the question, what do you think you have to do differently to be in that top 10? So people look at you and say, you know what, he's taken over this team and they're doing it, and now they're in a top 10 position.
So I'm a student, and I'll forever be a student. And so, my attitude, I hope, trickles to my whole entire team. We have some very talented people on my team. Some people who have been in the professional Top Fuel and Fuel Funny car rinks for, a couple for over a decade, and Tim for over 20 years. But we also have some people in my camp that have experience with fuel cars and with alcohol cars that we're going to be training and working together to grow as a team. And, the goal is to learn every time we're out, every run, every time we service the car, and every time we win, we discover why we won, why we did well. Every time we lose, meaning something goes wrong, we figure out why we did it wrong. And winning, there's a million ways to win at the racetrack, and there's so many different goals. How about the first major win for Buddy Hole Racing is going to be pulling in the fairgrounds in Pomona with all the guys and being up there first round. That's our first win. That takes a lot. And I know that there's a lot of people listening here know exactly what that takes, to put together a team and get everybody there and have the spare parts and have the car and set everything up. That's your first win. And then we go from there. So I have very, 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 very lofty goals, not just in my personal life, but also for the racing team. And there are people on my racing team in particular that I have goals for. My team is not just about me. My team are about my people. I can list all the guys on my team and say, well, I'd like to see this person grow into this. One of the guys on my team has a AA fuel altered. And, for me to him, I want to see Sean and I'm Sean Cash. He's one of my sponsors, Lucky's Diesel out there in Denver. I want to see him do the best he can do in his fuel altered. And I'm going to show up and I'm going to bend wrenches for him whenever he wants to run his car. And so anyway, my nephew's on my team and I want to see him move into some type of special role in the race car. So it's not just about winning at the racetrack, meaning the win lights. It's about everybody needs to win in their category. Everyone needs to be great at their job and everyone needs to have fun. That's why we do what we do. We create a lot of memories. We have a lot of fun. And I do believe, in fact, not anytime soon, because I don't want to get hasty, but someday we will get a win. I'll never quit. Ever. Ever. So I know we'll get a win.
Well, we do have folks asking, like Joe Hollis, what will be your first race? And you already alluded to that, Winter Nationals coming up in just a few weeks. But what does the totality of 2022 look like for Buddy Hole Racing?
So we do have a set schedule as of right now that could change. We're interested in potentially adding one or two on, but we're gonna go out there to Phoenix. We're gonna test. We're super excited about that. We'll pack it all up. We'll head to Pomona. After Pomona, we'll drag it all back here to Dallas, unload it, see how many good parts we have left, and service everything, get everything ready to go. Boom, we're gonna head south to Gainesville. We'll come back from Gainesville, hit Houston, and then we'll actually be parked for a while. Then we'll hit Topeka, and then Indy and St. Louis and Dallas, of course, my hometown. And then fingers crossed, I'd love to be able to finish the season in Las Vegas. So Las Vegas is that one that we're not too sure about, but we hope that we can get there. It just all depends on how many parts we have. That's all it's going to depend on. So, but that's our season. That's what it's looking like. And when we show up there, we'll show up fully prepared, or we won't go. If we don't have, 3 or 4 motors in the trailer and 3 fresh blowers and 5 sets of heads and 4 spare racks, we're not going, because I want to make sure that when we show up that we have everything we need to be successful with no exceptions. So.
And to talk about that, you said Houston, and then you said, of course, your hometown, Dallas. So speak to what that's going to mean for you. Like, rolling into Houston and then having Dallas too, like at your home door, like, everybody that is going to be like, hey man, can we have a ticket? Can we come see you? What do you think that experience, like, foreseeing it right now, what is that experience going to be like for you?
A blessing. We're gonna do something special. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do something special. We invite some all of my employees. We have over 100 here in Dallas. I don't have a head count in down in Houston, but we'll do the same thing in Houston. We have an office in Houston as well, but we'll have some type of get together. There will be food, there'll be music, there'll be a lot of fun to be had. And man, I'm just, again, it's so humbling, and it's such an honor to be able to do what I can do and be surrounded by the people I'm surrounded by. So whatever I can do to pay them back and show them my appreciation and allow them to have a good time and smell nitro and, feel the thunder and see the flames, that's exactly what I'll do. So we will have a good time for sure in Dallas and in Houston, I promise.
Well, buddy, it seems like right now in the NHRA, it is definitely comprised of, and what is going to make full fields, hopefully at each and every race in 2022, part-time teams such as yourself, such as Terry McMillen and Doug Foley and Cameron Foray with the Peyton, so on and so on. What would you like to see from the NHRA to enhance media coverage for a guy such as yourself with a brand new team to gain that exposure that, well, Las Vegas might be picked up like that?
Sure. Well, it's simple to me. And, I think that everyone deserves, everyone that's made the investment to be out there. And I don't mean just money, I mean time. Every crew member, every tuner, every driver, it's time. Everyone's taking their time to be out there. So everyone deserves the same level of recognition, right? I believe that with all my heart. And I understand it. Some people spend more money than others. I get it. I understand sponsorship. I'm a business person at heart, but I think this for sure. I think that there's only one way for a guy like me or a Terry McMillen, which I have a whole boatload of respect for. I love the guy, amongst many others that I could talk about. That if you give them a little bit more opportunity on the TV to show their personality, to be a goofball, watch them talk to the fans. They're as good as anybody, right? Some of us are. Hey, maybe that could be the opportunity, or maybe that could be the precursor, the catalyst, if you will, for guys like me and others to go to sponsors and say, hey, look, I really am on TV. It's really me. I can really be on TV and act like a goofball. Yeah, that's me. I was on fire 2 weeks ago. Hey, I need money to put my car back together. Whatever it is, and you can make it fun and make it exciting. And so I believe everything should be fair. I don't know that maybe that's the wrong thing to say. I think everyone deserves the opportunity to have their time on camera, to have their time on social media. If they've put together a real deal professional drag racing team that represents the sports, that entertains the fans, that does well for sponsors, because it takes a lot of money to do this. This isn't cheap. This isn't golf. This isn't a sport like that. This is a sport in which is powered. Horsepower is created by money. Let's just be real. So, the more money we have, the faster we can go. That's just what it is. So, it could sure help us all. I tell you what, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Somebody wants to set up an arm wrestling match between me and Hagen, I'm down. Whatever. Sumo wrestling, I'm down. Whatever it takes for the media. I don't care. I'm willing to have fun. I can, whatever it takes, anyway.
Lee, I foresee it now. Arm wrestling with Hagen on the stage and a bench press competition.
Oh yeah.
On social media.
All day. Bench press was my thing. I was actually in it seems like a whole nother life ago. I was a real deal professional powerlifter. I bench pressed over 700 pounds on about 120 occasions. My best bench press was 765 pounds. So I'm not afraid of anybody. Next, bring it on.
He's going to be walking with these blocks, just cylinder hands and all. Just, hey, watch out, guys. I got it. Boom. Drop it in.
I was at
boom. Here you go.
Last year, I was at a machine shop, and there was a aluminum Hemi sitting there, and someone bet me I couldn't pick up the block one hand. I said, no, I bet you I can pick it up with my index finger and my thumb. And so I grabbed the like the edge of the block and picked it up with these 3 fingers. See, there you go. Can't make that story up.
Hey, for the record, I did one time go by Matt Hagan's pits. He was signing autographs. I'm like, hey, man, Buddy Hole said he would be more glad to do a little competition. And he's like, hey, let me tell you something, man. I hate losing, so I'm not going to do that.
Hey, but Matt's a really cool dude, and I don't want to go down that path with Matt. He's a cool dude. He works his ass off in the gym. You can clearly see it. He just works out a different way than I work out, you know. And so, but yeah, maybe Matt and I could do something cool together someday. You know, it could be a funny car, Top Fuel, you know, thing, rivalry. It could be cool. They could have fun with it on TV, man. I'm down for whatever. I'll do anything. You can't embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? I've embarrassed myself so many times in so many ways. You can't embarrass me. It is impossible. So, anyway,
I just want to know what the gym regimen is like.
So, you know, hey, I'm going to tell you guys something. Here's the honest to God truth. I work out when I can. That's what I do. You know, a lot of my ability, my athletic ability is left over from so many years. You know, at one point I weighed 270 pounds and I had abs. So a lot of it's left over, but you know, I work out when I can. I don't necessarily have a schedule, but when my schedule opens up, I kill myself. I go in there, I kill it, I get it done. And that's what I do. And the good Lord blessed me with incredible genetics. You know, it's like I stay in shape even when I'm not really trying to stay in shape, and it's a blessing. And that's not me bragging. It's just genetics. It's just what it is. And so, but man, when I was competing heavy, it was my whole life revolved around it. You know what I mean? But not anymore. I'm good. I'm good with where I'm at.
So this past year, 2021 rookie season, 18 races, finished 14th in points, something to that effect, with Terry Haddock in his Top Fuel dragster. Yep. So what was that experience like, being with Terry Haddock? What did you learn? What did you pick up? And what you know, I'm sure, because you've been doing drag racing for a long time. A lot of people don't realize that, but you've been around it for a long time.
Long time.
And convey to us I don't want to put any other drag racing down, because I love all drag racing, but what was it like going from like JV to varsity, if you understand what I mean?
Well, you know, it's very surreal for me. You know, I grew up a little bit economically challenged. My family never had a lot of money. And so, you know, for me and my dad and my uncle and everyone in my family, really, you know, we're all car people. You know, I grew up at the racetrack going with my dad and helping other people on their cars. And there for a while, my dad and a few of his friends, they threw their money in the pile and threw the effort in the pile. They put together a top alcohol funny car and ran in the Midwest, NHRA and some IHRA and some NHRA. But, and that's how I met Tim, actually. You know, I met Tim when I was 9 or 10 years old. So something like that. But for me, it was really surreal, you know, to get back to your question, because, you know, to this day, you know, to me, I'm not even a team owner. I just, you know, here's the deal, Lee. I work my butt off all day, every day, and whatever it takes to get the stuff done. So I don't even have time to think about how cool it is or what it means. You know, my phone's been blowing up and I feel terrible. I don't have time to answer all these people's questions, but I'm not important. I don't even view myself that way. I just view my whole life as, okay, what's next? I got to do something next. I got to make this phone call. I got to go check this roof. I got to call this employee. Oh man, by the way, I got to go work on the trailer. I got to make sure we got enough tools. I got all the things. So I don't even have time really to think about that part of it, but certainly Surreal. It's a blessing. If it weren't for Terry, I certainly wouldn't be sitting here with this opportunity. I'm forever thankful to him. He taught me an incredible amount about drag racing and about Top Fuel, about mechanics. You know, I love working on the cars too. I actually work on the car as a driver. I probably won't much this year. I do have a full team plus some, which is another blessing. But man, Surreal. I love it. There is nothing cooler. I wish there was, because it'd probably be cheaper. There is nothing cooler than making a run at 300 plus miles an hour in a Top Fuel dragster. There's nothing cooler. I wish there was, and I wish it was cheaper, but I don't think there is. So guess what? I'm screwed for life. Needle in the arm. No, I'm just kidding.
So talk to us there about the roofing company and what that's like.
Oh, man.
You know, your day-to-day with that.
Dude, it's awesome. I have the best employees on this earth. Literally the best. You know, my goodness. You know, we're a top 300 roofing company in America. You know, we put on a lot of roofs, and we do all different types of roofs, residential, commercial, and all different types of residential, commercial. And we do a lot of the work that people don't know. You know, we do a lot of commercial interior build-outs. You know, here's an example. We just did 2 huge build-outs, one for the Guggen Squad. Well, who's the Guggen Squad? Well, go on YouTube. They're the biggest fishing sensation in the world right now. Well, we just built out their office. We just did one for Good Golf. So we do all kinds of cool stuff. We're getting ready to build a house. You know, we're building our first house, which should be interesting. We'll see if we don't mess that up. But man, we've done it all, you know, in terms of construction. And we're a growing company. You know, I force growth. And you know, if me not going on a limb and buying a top fuel team doesn't show forced growth, I don't know what does, but that's how I do business. I'm very aggressive. And so, you know, we're open here in Dallas. We're open in Houston. As far as offices go, we'll service all of Texas. We're soon to have an office open in Waco, Austin, San Antonio, and El Paso. You can expect that within the next 18 months out of my company. I'm aggressive. And whatever it takes to make it happen is what we do. And I give all the credit to my employees because they are absolutely the best employees on this earth, period, bar none.
Well, to have Texas covered and blanketed, that's certainly one heck of a market. So, hey, congratulations on that, man, that has grown and advanced. And definitely in the business world, that is the sign of someone doing some hard work to grow and advance it that much. Again, congratulations.
I appreciate it. I got the bags under my eyes to prove it. See, hey, if I could up my sunglasses game like yours, no one would have to see all that all the time.
That's why he wears them. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yep.
Look, it doesn't look any better without the shade, so I figured I'd just keep wearing them.
Y'all are terrible to each other.
We are. We tremendously are.
Y'all pick on each other. I've watched your show. You guys, y'all even like each other more?
No. See, this is the way it happens.
No.
We don't like each other on the show, but when we're in person, you would think that, you know, like we're just the best of friends. And people are like, oh, you guys actually do like each other.
Right. Like I will pick him up from the airport late at night because he's had a bad day all day and can't get out. So
I got you.
But then he goes in the room and he goes, hey, I'm known to have a snoring problem. And then just like, it wasn't like a light snoring problem. It was like, dude, like you got to warn somebody that you snore like that.
It's like, bro, the reason why I wasn't in the room when you woke up is 2 a.m., bro. Is it one of those?
No, it was one of those where it's like,
hey,
I found an earlier flight. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to jump on this one and I got to go. I'm playing, Lee. I'm playing.
I'm out. I got you.
Nah.
Hey, dude, true story. I've actually woke up in the middle of the night with one of my crew guys. This was years ago, right? It's so bad I couldn't sleep. I went and rented another room downstairs, slept in the room. I wake up to like 100 missed phone calls. Like, dude, where you at? I'm like, I'm in room so-and-so. You're so loud I couldn't sleep there. I swear to it.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. No, honestly, Lee and I, it's kind of like a Skip and Shannon. You know, we go back and forth, and that's what makes this show, you know, different. You know, we can banter and go back and forth. We don't have to agree on everything, but how we met, you know, for goodness sake. The guy, I was trying to get a shot. He was trying to get a shot down in Florida at the World Doorslammer Nationals, and we kept like bumping into each other. So eventually I'm like, hey, look, dude, you're going to have to pick your spot, and I'm going to have to pick my spot because I'm sick of seeing your beard and your shoulder in all my shots. Sure. And since then, we've been boys.
Therefore, I got it. Y'all just had to figure it out. It's that alpha male thing.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, speaking of beard games, you've got a beard game going on, and you're like the only bearded top fuel driver. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I think I kind of going to do something different this year. I'm going to do one of those, those like a beard you would get for like Halloween. I'm going to go ahead and glue it on the outside of my helmet just so everyone knows exactly who's sitting in the car. What do you guys think? Should I go for it?
Hey, go for it. Anything. It'd be they get something for Alan to announce from the talent. What in the heck is that?
I just may go ahead and do it just because, number one, no one else has done it. And number two, I'm definitely the only top fuel driver that's got a beard.
Right. Hey, used to be a common thing. Guys had beards, and drag racers kind of gnarly, and then it's all got clean cut. And,
Yeah. Everyone else got all soft on us. You know what I mean?
Lee, didn't you read the comments? Lose the glasses, get a black T-shirt like everyone else, and be clean cut and clean shaved. Didn't you get that memo?
I got it, and I wadded it up, and boop. Yes, that's what I did. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I did. Hey, here's a good question from Joe. Will you keep the operation based in Texas? Are you going to make an attempt to do that?
Oh yeah, yes sir. No, definitely. This will be a Texas-based racing operation. I'll work very closely and tightly with Tim over the phone to make sure the parts and pieces go together correctly. But I am blessed with a couple of Tim's former crew people being my neighbors, which is, I don't know what the chances of that are. I have David Schaff. He's up in Fort Worth. He was Tim's clutch guy for, it seems like, forever. So now he's my clutch guy. And then there's a couple others, they're going to be contributing to make sure that we can, keep the operation here in Texas next to me. And, I'm a workhorse. I want to work on the race car. I don't want to just be the guy that owns a thing and steers it. I actually enjoy getting my hands on the race car and getting in the mix with the guys. So you bet we'll be right here in Dallas, Texas, my man.
Well, that's cool to see. And like you said, you're keeping it your way. You're doing it your way, but you have help from a friend that's been there for you. And growth, like you said, there's only room for growth for you. And like I said, I started this show with asking that question is how do you get to, in the top 10, but I know your goals obviously are higher than that. And we're looking forward to it. And, I think it's always great to see fresh blood and someone that's hungry to go out there and, just do it their own way and go out and do it in style.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that compliment. And I aim to make everyone happy. I want to make sure I make my family happy, make them proud of me. I got to make Tim proud of me. I can't have one of the best guys in the business, have his hands on my race car and me not do my job in the race car. I have a great crew of people and it's unfair to them that they put together a great race car for me and I don't do my job. So my sponsors, I have some great sponsors on board already. And I got to make them happy. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I'll never quit. I'll never give up. And we're going to do whatever it takes to win. If Tim Wilkerson says we're going to paint your car pink and put yellow polka dots on it because it's going to pick up 8 mile an hour, then that's what we're doing. Whatever that guy says is what I'm doing because I've known Tim my whole life. And one thing I know about him is he may not always be the fastest car, but he's never the slowest car. He keeps the rods in the motor. He goes A to B a lot. And that's how you win drag races. And his record proves it. There's no doubt his record proves it. And Tim does it on less money than most people. So we're all so excited. Everyone on the team's excited. I get phone calls and texts all day. It's such a blessing. So, man, hopefully that answers your question.
I was just trying to figure out how you're going to get the roofing shingle, paint scheme on the car. Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
First, as a matter of, I got you covered. So you'll see a brand new fresh wrap on the car in Gainesville. It won't look too fancy for Pomona, but in Gainesville, expect something really cool on our race car. We will have time between Pomona and Gainesville to get that thing wrapped up, and it's going to be gorgeous. I promise. I am extremely particular about my things. I expect things to not only run good, but they got to look good at the same time. And so we aim to have one of the best looking top fuel dragsters out there. A fan favorite, no doubt. That's our goal.
Awesome. Awesome. Definitely some good work there from First Class Graphics on the trailer already. Look forward to seeing what we will see the car as at the Gator Nationals. That's going to be awesome. Buddy, look, before we let you go, some time to say thank you. We'll give you the floor, whoever you need to thank, man.
Oh, man, thanks. Well, you got an hour? You got another hour?
Right.
It could take that long. Thanks to my family, number one. If it weren't for my great Uncle Reggie starting our family in drag racing in the 50s, I definitely wouldn't be here. And then my uncle and my dad continuing it. And then all those people over those years that had an influence on me, to I guess inspire me to even do what I'm doing, right? Because it takes some inspiration, and it's so important, So first, my family, my girlfriend Christy, she's 100% supportive of me. Without her, I wouldn't be able to do this because our relationship wouldn't work. So I'm blessed to have her behind me 100%. And she works on the team as well. Her job is to keep me in line. That's her job. How about that? Tim Wilkerson, him taking me on as a second-year driver I'll be honest, it's a risk for him. I'm not stupid. I know business. He believes in me. He believes in his program. And Tim is committed to me, and I'm very thankful for that. My guys from Lucky's Diesel, they're going to be working on my car. Sean Cash, Caleb Henner, David Chaff, Kyle Henner, Brian, Corey Holcomb, Robert North, all these people, Rich Fenwick, Rocky Coleman, my nephew, Will Tomhave. The list goes on and on and on. Mike and Jerry Bauer, they're local. They own Bauer's Machine. They had a beautiful trailer sitting there specifically built for Top Fuel. And I went over there and had to arm wrestle out of them. So thanks to Mike and Jerry for taking really good care of me in a beautiful trailer. I mean, our trailer is awesome. It really is a beautiful piece. DFW Mobile RV Repair. They do all the servicing on the truck, the trailer, and the RV. Hey, I was out there today, and they're replacing all my lights on the trailer with brand new LEDs, and it's going to be bright. It's going to be awesome. I mentioned Lucky's Diesel out there in Denver. They're power stroke specialists, and they do all kinds of cool stuff in that shop. And First Class Graphics, we mentioned them. They wrap the trailer and did the lettering on the truck and the golf cart, and they're going to wrap the car, and they're very creative, and I'm just blessed. I'm so thankful to everyone. I can't leave these guys out. We had the coolest ever group of racers for over a decade in Central Illinois. It was the Nostalgia Outlaw Quick Series. And those guys, if it weren't for them, I definitely wouldn't be here. Hey, all those guys helped me learn how to drive a race car, supported me, helped me with parts, showed me how to do things. I mean, they were absolutely a great group. The list goes on. I couldn't finish. If I really put a paper to pen, we would need a full entire hour to just thank people. But those are some of them. If I missed anyone on here, I do apologize. I will at some point. I promise to mention your name or who you are, your business. But I'm so thankful and appreciative and humbled by the opportunity. I don't even feel like an owner. I don't feel like an owner driver. I feel like a guy that climbs roofs for a living, answers people's phone calls, solves problems, and just lucky enough to be able to sit in a car and hold a steering wheel. That's who I feel like, and I'll never change.
Buddy, don't do that. Stay the same, and thank you for your time, man.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and I hope someday, I can wear one of those shirts.
I got you.
Look as good as you do in it.
Right, I got you. I'll get you one. I'll get you hooked up.
Buddy.
Extra medium.
Yeah, extra medium. Take care, man. Good talking with you. We'll chat later.
Thanks, guys.
Man, what a ball of energy.
Buddy is a great personality, and he is someone that I really feel like flew under the radar last year, and not by choice. I really feel that there are people, yes, I'm going to say it, in the NHRA. Why did you not pick up this guy's story? A long heritage in drag racing from his dad, as he mentioned, there in Central Illinois with an outlaw group, all the way down to the top fuel ranks, working with a guy who has been doing the nitro circuit in the NHRA for a while, Terry Haddock, and he is there for 18 races, and he does finish 14th in points, and does it on does it in a different circumstance with Terry Haddock. And I really think that story could have been brought out sooner. And by tonight, and by the press release, and by purchasing this car, this team, I think it should definitely put people on notice in any other drag racing media outlet. You need to pay attention to this guy because he's got the chops to be able to do that. And anybody that can be able to do that, you need to pay attention.
Well, it's not even, it doesn't, well, I want to say this. I agree with you, Lee, but it doesn't matter what their financial situation is. It doesn't matter what you may think is a hot story. Like, yes, we can go and talk about John Force until we're blue in the face, right? He's still going to be John Force. He's still going to be the guy that's been on fire from here to Australia. He's still going to be the guy that's a 16-time champion. Like, that's John Force. But there's other stories in the pits that I think we neglect. I think even in the current situation of, you know, who's a current owner and who's doing what, I honestly, and I said it on Wes's show last week, I think one of the biggest stories right now that is not talked about enough is Ron Capps. Ron Capps as a owner. I think that story, I mean, fortunately, we've got the chance to talk about it, but I mean, everyone's so worried about, okay, yeah, everyone left DSR. Well, we kind of saw that coming. The writing was on the wall for that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you didn't have to be a fly in the shop to understand what was kind of going on there and what direction that was going. Was that was that the best move? Did it, everyone think this? But I think we continue to focus on the majors and the what ifs with all these other stories, or how is this really going to play out, and how are we going to do this? And I think, like you said, as a, and I'm going to say as a whole, as a collective bargain, whichever phrase you want to use there, I think we overlook some of the other stories. And I think this is one of those stories where, when it comes down to it, it's a person first. Who Buddy Hall is as a person, what Terry brings back to the sport, those are the things that we need to drive off of, not the financials. And I think that's where we get wrapped up in motorsports and in sports in general, is who is the biggest name, who has the biggest money. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say this because this is going to sound so horrible, but how much have we focused on what Tony Stewart is doing? And Tony Stewart is just doing him, right? He's doing what he loves to do, but it's, oh my God, it's the big name. We don't focus on the smaller names. And like you said, if you haven't followed Buddy yet, you're slacking. Pick up the pen and the paper, pick up the phone, send a message via Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snap, Chisel, whatever social media platform you want to do, and get that guy and tell a little bit more about his story, and the many other stories that are in the pits.
Many other stories. Bobby Bodie, he announced he's going to run more races this year, like 11. There was just like one blurb. That was it. I think there should be more there around that kid. There's plenty of stories. Alex Laughlin and Alan Perninsky been getting some media coverage, but I hope that is a big storyline going into the Winter Nationals and possibly even going into testing at Phoenix, things like that. And Sam, I do want to mention Thursday night, my show, talking about stories. So John Charbonneau, super fan. This man has been to over 400 national events. That's not including all the other drag racing that he's been to. And he's also an amateur photographer, and he does a great job. A lot of you probably watching see his photos in the drag racing groups. He does great photography. He's a great guy, and he loves drag racing. He's a super fan, and I'm going to be getting his story Thursday night. Again, as we were saying, there's a ton of stories out there. They're everywhere.
And right here, you know, Drag Racing Central. First of all, shout outs to this guy. Like he's not just on our show, he's on your show. I've seen him, you know, comment on stuff that I've done. He's on Wes's show. This guy loves drag racing. And what he says right here, I think we forget as a sport, sponsors want winners. Look at Josh Hart and Justin Ashley, for example. They are great examples of our sport. I mean, when you talk about two young guys that are, here it goes again, driving the needle forward. I mean, the two names that you just mentioned, but you can put, I guarantee you, and I can go out on a limb and say that I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. What Buddy does this year, just in being there, being as excited as he is, and having the passion that he has to want to continue to learn and be coachable. Because when you look at Buddy and when you look at Josh Hart and you look at Justin, those three names are all coachable. You can't tell me. You can't. There's not one person in the pits that would say, yeah, if I told them to try, if John walked up to him and told him to try something, if Antron walked up, if anyone walked up to those, you know, three people and say, are these guys coachable? They're going to say that. And that's what it takes. You can't know it all. No one knows it all. There's a lot of people out in our sport, crew chiefs, drivers that have been around and seen a lot of it. But they're still willing to learn. And being coachable, I can guarantee you, I mean, that's what every successful person will tell you. You still got to learn something. So, I don't know. That's me off my soapbox and getting into the physics of everything and getting all ethical with you guys.
Right. So Scott Malpass, he asks, any idea who is driving the second Caruso car? I don't think there is any idea. And we'll see if that does happen, does transpire. I don't know.
I may have Camry coming up on my show to talk about some things, so who knows? I know nothing yet. I know nothing yet. And who knows? Will Camry come out and say it? Will she keep it under wraps? I mean, you know, and nothing against Camry, but you know, she's kind of a closed book. If there's a secret that needs to be held, she's one that can hide that secret. So who knows?
Yes. So let me say this on sponsorship. Drag Racing Central says here, if half of these unsponsored drivers won and were competitive, they would be getting sponsors. Josh Hart won, and next year he's running a full season. That is not the whole story on sponsorship. It is not just winning. You can win in a lot of different ways. And for example, Josh Hart, first race of the year, what's on the side of his car that he goes out and wins in? That's his speed shop, Burnsies. And then RL Carriers. How did that come about? That came about because he already had a relationship with RL Carriers and then was able, outside of the box, to provide a different avenue of sponsorship. Because it wasn't just about the winning. It was about the marketability of that car going to R&L Carrier facilities and using it as a hiring mechanism and a promotional morale booster as well for the company. And I can tell you, working with Doug Foley, look, some of the sponsors are like, hey, we really don't care to even be on the car. We just are concerned about you bringing us ROI in business to business. And that shocked me when like Doug Foley told me, like, these people actually really don't care to have their sticker on the car. They just care about us bringing them business, and they'll sign us a check. I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. So again, sponsorship is a tricky deal. It's not just winning. Winning helps. It does. I will give you that. But it does not solve the issue.
Lee, can I tackle the next one?
Sure. Okay.
All right. In NHRA, most of the time, if you don't have a famous family or a huge sponsorship or sponsor, you do not get publicity. You cannot, and this makes me sound like I know it all, but you cannot depend on NHRA to give you the publicity. Yes, does it help you? Tremendously, it does. It helps you tremendously. I mean, it does. But that's why social media is so prevalent right now. That's why having someone that understands social media, that helps you put the content in front of people, to reach out to that demographic, to create those videos, to create those, goofy videos, TikToks and everything else. Someone that's going to tweet every round what you're doing, to keep people entertained, to keep people involved and engaged in what you're doing. That's where you market yourself. You cannot, as a racer or as a race fan or whatever, say that it's NHRA's job to publicize you. No way. That's not what they're there for. Yes, does it help? Yes. Does John Force get to say Peak and Auto Club and all that 15 million times? Yeah, he does. But if you notice, every time he gets on the camera, that's the first thing he has to say. It's your job as a driver or as a team member or as a PR person to put the news in front of people. And the only way to do that is to continue to share, to continue to post, to continue to put yourself out and do something different. People talked about Alex Laughlin for doing the Power of the People for his car, the one that's right there behind Lee. But guess what?
The first one, the original one.
Yeah, the original one, right? People, oh my gosh, he's got money. Why is he doing that? But guess what? All you guys that complained about it, you guys talked about it. And you talking about it got in front of one other person. And that person talking about it, even if it was positive or negative, someone else talked about it. I.e., go back to the burn down that happened in Pro Stock this year. We talked about that for 3 to 4 weeks. Some bad news is really good news. So can't depend on NHRA to do it for you.
Sam, on the marketing side of things, yes, the NHRA does need to give exposure for those who have put the investment in, just like Buddy said. But you also can very easily provide to them on their outlet what they can share and tell the story. And what I mean by that, like a press release. Buddy put out a press release about his purchasing the team. Terry McMillen, that was a press release to NHRA, Drag Illustrated, Competition Plus. I even got the email on Monday Morning Racer. So it gets out to all these outlets. And when it comes to marketing, understand some of those that don't have a huge sponsor and some of those that don't have a big family name, they just actually don't care about it. And I've experienced that. Like, you go to them, hey, would you like help with your social media? This is what we can do for you. And they just look at you like a newborn calf looking at a brand new gate. They just have no clue what you're talking about, because all they're concerned about is turning a wrench. There is that separation at times with some of these groups. You got to talk about yourself. You got to get the information out there. There are outlets that will bring you on. Like, look, maybe you're not going to come on a Competition Plus Tuesday night or a Drag Illustrated Wednesday or a Joe Costello, but I'll talk to you. Sam will talk to you. There's an outlet somewhere for you to tell your story. Sometimes you got to find it. And some of them aren't even concerned with finding it. I have experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, I left this comment up. Justin Swantrum. Perfect example, the Swan game. Perfect example of someone that said, you know what? I'm not going to wait for anyone to tell my story. I'm going to tell my own story. So he got his freaking camera phone. Like, Wes said this to me before. He said, dude, if you want to become famous, put this in front of you and continue talking. And it's not even about being famous. If you want to start something, we all have the tool by a smartphone. And if you go to the track, you'll see a lot of smartphones being used, and you know how I feel about that. Another example right here, Mikey says it, Clay Milliken, Stevie Fast Jackson, and Lyle Barnett. They are the best in the game right now with promoting themselves. Clay Milliken has his own YouTube channel. Every week he's posting a video. Every week he's posting a video of his experience at every drag race. Lyle Barnett, I mean, hands down. I mean, look at the man's story. He started from a grudge racer, man that was set on fire, and now he gets to tell his story. And he's honestly, like I said, he was to me the rookie of the year for the 21 race season. I mean, that's just me. Stevie Fast Jackson, we've all watched it. KTR Racing, everything he's doing. Alex Laughlin.
I mean, you see with him, he's starting to even like add builds. It's not even like a drag car into his social media portfolio and continuing to build that brand. So there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. And I think everybody could be doing something, some way to build their own brand. And I will say this, maybe, just maybe, the NHRA does look at it as, hey, have you tried to build your own brand in the first place? Because if you haven't, why should we do any brand building for you? And I think that side, looking at it that way, is reasonable as well. It really is.
I'm just going to end it with this, Lee. There was a quote that I heard from Will Smith. He says, if you want to build a wall, you don't go out to build the wall right away, right? It's one brick at a time. You got to be the best at that brick or whatever you're building with, that section right then and there. Start somewhere, keep building, and wait for the final product. We can't just jump and say it needs to be done today. We've all got to do better. I've got to do better with my social media presence and what I'm doing. You've got things to work on. You know, Drag Illustrated's got things that they're working on. Everyone has to evolve. And if you don't evolve with the times, you're going to fall off. So,
you are.
I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. The survival of the fittest is the nature of the beast. But, Lee, man, like I said, I might have Cammie Caruso on my show coming up. Drag Illustrated talking about what they're talking about with their press release. Man, we got a gig. I'm going to have to get all shaved and cleaned up and go and find a nice shirt.
Right.
You know,
I might have to go buy some new shades for that one. Like some new shades on that one. Yeah.
You can't wear shades to an award show.
Hey, I'm going to be there in all my glory. Yes.
I'm going to get cleaned up, you know, I'm going to put on a full, you know, I might go rent a tux or something. Like, nah, I ain't doing that. I got a suit in here I think I can put on. Actually, no, I think I got rid of my suit. That's what I've been doing, man. Since I've been gaining all this weight, been giving away my clothes to people that need them. But man,
for your philanthropy.
Yes. When is In the Groove coming back? It is coming back this week. In the Groove podcast is back this week. Dropping. That's great info. Lee, man, I'm Slammin' Sam, Outlaw Performance ENT. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can find me on YouTube. Go over and hit that bell and subscribe to my YouTube channel as we'll be dropping more videos. In the Groove podcast on all your major podcast forums. You guys should listen, subscribe, and we will be dropping, like I said, a new episode this week about what's going on, where we've been, and why we took a hiatus. But, man, this has been another great show of the Power Hour, man. We've been rocking it out. You've been my co-host, my partner, my brother from another mother. And, man, I just want you to know I love you.
Sam, I love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Monday Morning Racer. You can follow me on all the major social media platforms. Just search Monday Morning Racer. Be with me on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Facebook page, the Twitter site, or also on YouTube for Between the Slicks, where we talk everything drag racing, the most diverse drag racing talk show out there, I think. This has been the Competition Plus Power Hour on Competition Plus TV, presented by Weldon High Performance. On behalf of Slammin' Sam and myself, the Monday Morning Racer, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal. Until next time, enjoy your drag racing, ladies and gentlemen.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.